Namaste, my loves. Welcome to the mat and welcome to this little online coven. My name is Bethany and I am the Yogi Witch, and welcome to today's flow. So you might have seen the title, Vampire. That's what might have caught your eye. Now, we're not going to be talking about vampires in the traditional sense, you know, like the delicious Robert Pattinson or Bram Stoker. We are going to be talking about them in terms of energy suckers. So we all have that kind of vampire in our life that maybe when we hang around them or when we're near them, etc., we kind of feel drained. We feel like they've taken a lot of the positivity out of our day. They've made us feel bad about ourselves, and maybe they're doing it unintentionally. Maybe that's just kind of where their mindset is at the moment, and they don't realize, that what they're doing to other people. So in today's flow, we are going to be working through a very uplifting and energizing flow. So looking at twists, looking at some backbends, and just playing around with our core to awaken the solar plexus and to also protect the heart chakra. So really gorgeous flow to kind of claim back our energy, claim back the things that we deserve, the power we have, the magic, all the good stuff. So you're going to grab any tools to help you with your practice today. I got some positive vibes incense going. I've already saged the space. So get yourself sorted, and when you're ready, I will meet you back here so we can get flowing. Okay, so we're going to begin today's flow by coming into a comfortable seated position. So maybe the legs are crossed, maybe you're sat back in your hero's pose. Now, disclaimer before we start, I've got a new mat and it is very squeaky. So I just need to make that very clear before we continue. And from here, we're going to take the hands and knees, flip those palms up towards the sky, rolling back the shoulders to find length through the crown of the head. And we're going to begin today's class as a coven by taking a beautiful deep inhale. And on your exhale, blowing it all the way out. Starting to come together, creating a beautiful protective circle around ourselves as we dedicate time to our well-being on the sacred space of our mat. And with our palms flipped up towards the sky, we're going to start to harness the energy of the sun, of the moon, with the sit bones connecting to the earth beneath us, starting to balance out the breath and become aware of how we're feeling today. So maybe you've stepped onto the mat feeling physically tired or emotionally tired. Maybe that vampire has been hanging around you for too long. Today, like I said, we're focusing on getting rid of them, putting up that wall of protection to protect our energy, protect our mental health. Now, a lot of the times we can't actually kick out the vampire from our lives. Perhaps they're a family member, they're a friend, and that's okay. We don't have to go to that kind of extremes unless it is really toxic. But we want to start to put up barriers so they can't emotionally kind of penetrate us. They are staying well away from us. It's one of the tips that I learned in counseling for my anxiety, and it's a tool that I use every day, both in my yoga practice and in my witchcraft practice. The minute I step onto this mat, no vampires can come in. It's like I got my little garlic all around the mat. So from here, let's start to bring a little bit of movement by taking the hands into a fist, and we're going to take a few wrist circles. So rolling it in one direction, rolling it in another. Maybe starting to bring some movement to the neck, taking some neck circles in one direction, in the other, maybe some shoulder circles, anything that feels good to you. We're starting to find a bit of free movement here. Not worrying about what it's looking like, but rather what it's feeling like. Really encouraging that kind of creativity in our yoga practice to come out. Beautiful. Before We inhale, the arms come nice and high to the sky, roll the shoulders away from the ears. And on your exhale, this right hand's going to float to the left knee, and this left hand's going to come all the way overhead, matching a side body stretch with our twist. Beautiful. We inhale, sweep both arms back to the sky. Exhale, left hand, right knee, right arm comes all the way overhead. Beautiful. Inhale to come back into the center, and from here we're going to bend the elbows coming into our cactus arms. So elbows are nice and aligned with those shoulders. Pull back on the hands and start to take some deep breathing here. So start to open up that heart chakra. Although this might seem like quite a vulnerable kind of pose because our heart is exposed, it's a powerful pose. Our arms are wide. We're starting to embrace our space. Holding for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, 1. Gently bring the forearms and the hands to touch, squeezing the chin into the chest. Holding 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. One more time. We inhale to open all the way up. Arms are starting to get tired, maybe a bit heavy, but don't. Embrace that power. Lift them high for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring them to touch. Final time. Chin to the chest, holding 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the fingertips to the mat, maybe giving those shoulders a bit of a shake out before our hands come to the mat, or maybe onto the fingertips. Roll those shoulders away from the ears as we inhale to find length. Exhale, right ear floats down to the right shoulder. Yes, we inhale into the center. Exhale, left ear, left shoulder. Beautiful. Moving back into the center. One more deep breath before we move deeper into the flow. We inhale to fill the lungs, fill the belly. And on your exhale, we blow it all the way out. Yes. Gently blinking the eyes open. We're going to find our way into our tabletop position and start to take a little bit of movement in our tabletop. So maybe taking your cat-cow, maybe taking some circles, anything that feels good to you. Before we curve into those shoulders, tuck the toes under, and let's keep this movement going in our down dog. So pedaling out those legs, bending one knee, bending another. Oh, the squeaky mat. And from here, let's keep this gorgeous spinal movement going in our down dog. So spreading the fingers nice and wide, pressing into the knuckles. From here, we're going to round into those shoulders, briefly moving to a plank. And then bending the knees, roll the hip bones back to the sky. Beautiful. Few more times. Roll into those shoulders. Before we bend the knees, hip bones come high. Taking this at the rhythm of your own breath, starting to get used to this movement. Maybe moving faster, maybe moving slower. Before we take it one more time, hip bones come high to the sky, and we're going to bring the big toes to touch. Inhale, we sweep the right leg nice and high to the sky, pointing those toes. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, we draw the knee first to the chest, and then we step the foot outside of the mat on that right hand side, moving to our lizard pose. Now you can stay here in your lifted lizard pose, or maybe you start to activate it a bit more by sending the hands forward. It's a super deep stretch. Holding for a few breaths here. You've got it. Keeping that back leg nice and activated. Holding 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Walk the hands into the center. We lower this back knee down, and we're going to wiggle this front foot into the center. From here, we inhale to find our way to our low lunge. Bring the hands together, drop those thumbs behind the neck, maybe start to sink into the hips. Take the gaze high, opening up this heart chakra. Front leg is working nice and strong. Beautiful. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, hands come to frame the front foot, and we're going to lift this back leg up once more. Left hand stays down, right hand comes all the way to the sky. Really start to pull back on this right hand, open the twist. And we're going to start to take some gorgeous movements here. So on your inhale, arm comes high. On your exhale, we sweep this right arm underneath the knee as if you're giving yourself a little hug here. Inhale, come high. Exhale, sweep it underneath. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, sweep it all the way under. Inhale. Exhale, sweep it all the way under. Beautiful. Before we bring the right hand into the center, so coming on the inside of the right foot, and we're going to pivot that back foot, bringing both feet parallel and finding your way to a wise leg forward fold. So starting to pivot your way onto those tippy toes. Maybe the forehead, maybe the top of the head comes to the mat. Maybe you're using those hands for support. It doesn't matter where you are today. You've got it. Before we press into the hands, inhale, gaze forwards. On your exhale, we're going to bring those heels in a little bit further, so those toes point out to a 45-degree angle, maybe taking a few bends in the knees from one side to the other. And then when you're ready, we engage the core. Hands come to heart center, and we lift the body to goddess pose. So sitting nice and low here. If you want to go further, then maybe you open those arms out into your cactus arms, kind of like the beginning pose that we did. And keeping the chest lifted, holding 5. It's burning. For 4. For 3. 2. And 1. Bend into the knees, forward fold, and bring the feet back parallel. From here, we're going to send the right toes forward, walk our way back into that kind of low, high lunge, and then hands frame the front foot. Step back to plank, knees up, knees down. It's completely up to you, my loves, but rolling through your movement. Inhale, upward dog. Oh, ignoring the click in my back then. Exhale, hip bones come high to the sky. Down dog. Taking that spinal movement again, we round into the shoulders, briefly coming through plank before bending the knees. Hip bones come high. And keep this movement going. Nice and slow and steady. Beautiful. Taking it one more time. Before we bring the big toes, touch at the back of our mat. Inhale, left leg floats the sky, pointing those toes as high as you can take them. Exhale, draw it into the chest, hold it here. Before we step it outside of the left hand and make our way into that lizard pose. So remember, you can stay here, you can drop the back leg, or maybe send the hands forward. Really starting to activate that lizard pose. It's a deep pose, it's very hard. Holding it just for a few more breaths. You got it. Yes. We inhale. Exhale, walk the hands into the mat. We lower the back knee down. Let's wiggle this left foot between the thumbs. Engage the core, my darlings. We inhale to low lunge. Exhale, bring the hands to prayer, and we drop those thumbs behind the neck, maybe sinking into those hips, coming into your back bend. Now remember, in our back bends, we don't want to hold our breath. We want to keep it nice and steady. Feeling that heart chakra open up here. Ignoring the people in the bus shelter that are watching me right now. As we inhale, exhale, hands come to frame the front foot, tuck the back toes under, and we lift all the way up. Right hand stays down, left hand comes to the sky into that twist. Now remember, pull back on this twist, open up the heart, making the movement again. We inhale, exhale, hug the arm underneath this left knee. Yes. Inhale to come high. Exhale, hug it all the way under. Inhale, come high. Exhale. One more time. We inhale. We exhale, take it all the way under before we bring the left hand to the inside of the left foot and we wiggle our way to a wide leg forward fold. Starting to pivot onto the tippy toes. Wiggling myself around because I'm too self-conscious. So starting to find that wide leg forward fold once more. Yes, giving yourselves a few breaths here. Before we press the hands into the mat, inhale, gaze forwards. Exhale, bring the heels in, and let's start taking that movement in the knees from one side to another. Not only starting to work on our mobility, but also starting to gain that lower body strength. Beautiful. Before we engage the core, lift the chest, hands come to heart center, or you find that fire by opening up into that goddess pose, cactus arms to the side. Sitting nice and low, holding 5, 4, 3, you've got it, 2, and 1. Extend the legs before we pivot from the hips and forward fold. From here, we're going to send the left toes to face towards the top of the mat, walking the hands all the way forwards, framing that front foot. We step back into plank, knees up, knees down. It's completely up to you, but making your movement through your vinyasa. We inhale, exhale, hip bones come high to the sky, down dog. Starting to feel that heat in the body. Now remember, you can drop those knees at any point, come to your child's pose. Maybe pressing pause on this flow to give yourself a break. Or if you're ready to keep going, bring the big toes to touch. We inhale, sweep the right leg all the way to the sky. Exhale to draw this knee into the chest and step it between the thumbs. Keeping this back leg up, we straight away inhale to high lunge. Exhale, pivot that back foot, ignoring the squeaky mat, and shuffle ourselves into our warrior 2. But in this warrior 2 stance, we're going to flex the hands, pushing away those vampires, away those energy suckers. Yes. Maybe going even further to lift that front heel up. You've got it, holding 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Keep this front knee bent as you lower the heel. Wrap the left arm behind the body and we send this right arm overhead. Reverse warrior, my loves. As you inhale, exhale, release those arms briefly to warrior 2 before hands come to heart center. And we're going to extend this front leg briefly, bringing those toes off to a 45-degree angle and stepping into a modified Skandasana, so bending into this front knee. If you want to go further, you lift the left toes up. That was like Matrix style fall. Beautiful. Holding 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Front leg bloody burning. We release the left heel down. Briefly roll back. Warrior 2. Inhale, arms come overhead. High lunge. Exhale to frame the front foot. Left hand stays down. Right hand comes to the sky. Stay here, my darlings, or step the right foot behind the left and lift these hip bones, moving into your wild thing. Holding 5, 4, 3, 2, yes, and 1. Find your way into your plank. Knees up, knees down, that's your choice. But take your vinyasa. Meeting back in your down dog. Give me 2 seconds to sort out this microphone. I'm sorry if it keeps hitting my mouth. Once you're ready, hip bones come high to the sky, down dog. Let's keep this fire going. We bring the big toes to touch. Inhale, we sweep the left leg nice and high to the sky. Point those tippy toes. Exhale, draw the knee to the chest. Step it between the thumbs. Finding our way first into our high lunge. And then exhale, pivoting the body into our warrior 2. So back foot comes parallel the back of the mat. Hips square with the side of the mat. And flex those hands, keeping those vampires away. We don't need them in our space. Beautiful. If you want to go further, you lift this front heel up. Yes, you've got it. A few more breaths. Feel that power. Send them away. This is your space. As you inhale, exhale, release that heel down. Wrap right arm behind the body. Left arm comes overhead. Reverse warrior. Open up that heart. We inhale, exhale, briefly come back to warrior 2 before we extend the front foot, and we're going to send those toes off to that 45-degree angle. Hands come to heart center, sit in that modified Skandasana, maybe lifting the right toes up. You've got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release that back foot. Briefly, we go back into warrior 2 before before we inhale, arms flow overhead, pivot into high lunge. Exhale, hands frame the front foot, right hand stays down. Inhale, left arm to the sky. Remember, you can stay in your twist or you step back to that wild thing, opening up the heart for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come into your plank. Knees up, knees down. This time, take your final vinyasa. Inhaling to upward dog. Exhale, let's say goodbye to our down dog. Hip bones come high. One final little stretch here. We bring the legs to touch. Bending the knees, those knees come over to the right hand side, hip bones to the left. Inhale to the center, exhale, knees over to the left hand side, hip bones to the right. Beautiful, into the center. If you have jumped through, you can jump through, or maybe bring right knee to right wrist, step the leg on top, and come into a seated position, my darlings. Yes, feeling that energy that not only you created, but we created together as a collective coven, meeting on the sacred space of our mats. So coming into our seated position, we inhale, arms come high. Exhale, right hand to the left knee, left arm comes all the way overhead. Ending the practice exactly how we began, but maybe finding a little bit more space here. Inhale, both hands shine to the sky. Exhale, left hand, right knee, open the right arm all the way to the side. Inhale, sweep both arms to the sky, make a fist, and let's start taking a few wrist rolls here. Rolling in one direction, rolling in another. Maybe keeping this movement going in those shoulders, going in the neck. Before the hands come to rest on those knees, this time we're going to flip the palms down into our knees to keep ourselves grounded, keep the energy that we created on the mat today inside our body. Having aligned all those chakras, having blocked out those energy vampires, keeping them away from us. This feeling that you've got right now, this sense of fire in the belly, this sense of positivity radiating on your skin, this is your space. Imagining that you're taking this energy into your day-to-day life. So even when those energy vampires come towards you, they can't get near you because you remember how powerful, how magical, and how unbreakable you are. And you can choose to take your Shavasana lying down, or maybe you choose to stay with me in a seated position. It's completely up to you. One pose is not better than the other. But we roll back the shoulders. We find length through the crown of the head. Feeling that sense of space that we've created, the sense of peace in the mind. Feeling empowered, magical, uplifted. And just keeping that mind focused on the sacred space of your mat, that gorgeous circle of protection that you have around you. Knowing that you're never alone, we're in this together. We can fend off those vampires together. And before we close this circle together, you're going to repeat after me, maybe quietly in your mind or out loud, up to you. But when you're ready, I am magical. I am unbreakable. I am powerful. One more time. I am magical. I am unbreakable. I am powerful. Before we take a deep inhale and closing this class together as a collective coven by exhaling all the way out. Maybe releasing those hands to prayer in the center of your chest and giving a bow here, a bow full of gratitude to the strength of ourselves for coming to the mat, for the power of this collective coven as we meet here on my little YouTube channel. And as always, from me to you, thanking you for allowing me into your practice and for trusting me with your practice. It was an honor to share the flow today, guys, and remember how magical, how unbreakable, how powerful you are. If you feel those energy vampires coming towards you, starting to suck the energy, the positivity, the joy out of you, push them away. You've got this power, my darlings. Remember, I upload 3 free flows a week. Got through that sentence. And I look forward to seeing you on the mat again soon, my loves. Take care. Hi, my darlings. Like I said, I upload 3 free flows a week, so you can find a whole bunch of them on my playlist here. And I would love it if you gave me a little love, a little subscribe by clicking this button here. I hope I got that right, or else this was completely pointless and embarrassing. But I'll see you later, my darlings.